think in the past podcast you said, or you discussed this analogy of being like a bank robber when it comes to crypto hype cycles. Can you kind of explain that to our audience?
These boom bust cycles are kind of like robbing a bank, right? And when everything's good, like you've walked to the bank has infinite assets and infinite money that you can, take and line your pockets with. The problem is when you are robbing the bank, the silent alarm trips. So the whole game is to take as much as you can and leave before the police show up. Of course, the boldest and bravest bank robbers, you know, are going to leave with the most loot, right? But if you're too bold and too brave and not sensible enough to know when enough is enough and when things have gotten heated, you're going to get busted and you're going to leave with nothing. So I really did like that analogy. We're robbing the bank right now. It's just an analogy for the cycle itself. When is this going to be over? The answer to that is who fucking knows. I mean, every time like the signs of froth are different.
While I was collecting audience questions, Mr. Frack here asked, how would you make it this cycle if you were currently sitting on a mid five-figure portfolio? And of course, the size doesn't matter that much. It's more this concept of, there's, there's a bunch of, thousands of retail watching this probably. And, we all want to make it. How would you advise them? Like, what should they do if they
There's
want?
really, I think, two paths to making it. And one of those paths is you can get in the meme coin trenches. I think that's an honorable path. And I think that's the difficult path. I think to be very successful in the meme coin trenches, a lot of times you do have to be an insider. You have to know the right people. You really have to have your finger on the pulse and your ear to the ground. It's very stressful. You go through wild, volatility swings. The tried and true classic way of leveling up from that amount of capital is to find a gem. People say, what do you define as a gem? Does it have to be under $1 million market cap? Does it have to be under five? There's no like strict, criteria for, you know, being a gem. When somebody says gem, it essentially just means like something that's undiscovered, something that when polished, will end up being a lot prettier than it looks now. Um, the tried and true way of making it, and in my opinion, the low stress way of making it is to find something that people aren't looking at yet with a low enough market cap to where it doesn't take a lot of capital to pump it, identify why it's going to go up, what are those growth catalysts? What are the narratives that are going to bring attention this way? Because at the end of the day, the numbers go up on anything because more eyeballs are on it, right? But what is going to bring the eyeballs? And go all in,
Go
having a
all in?
yeah, having a diversified portfolio, with a small amount of capital is not a good idea. I find a gem, maybe it's $8 million cap like Spell. I considered that to be a gem at the time. Of course, I had no idea, like, let's be real, that Spell was going to pump as hard as it did. Like, I'm not this oracle. I didn't foresee that at all. It just happened. Right place in the right time. But find something like that. Be a really good community member. You want to be that guy that's in the Discord and the Telegram helping, when new people come in. The devs aren't always around. The community managers aren't always around, but you can have a lot of knowledge and education on what you've invested in. I think that's always a good idea. And you can be the guy that helps to onboard new people to the community. I always advise working for your backs. So go find a gym that you truly believe in. And that's why I still mid curve my portfolio. Anything in my portfolio is something I actually like have done a lot of research in, and I see like a really distinct possibility of it growing. There's a reason I'm in it and I believe it. And the problem is if you don't truly believe in what you're holding, you know, it's very difficult to buy the bottom and sell the top. It's very likely if you buy something, um, you're going to, experience some kind of drawdown, and it might not happen immediately, but it's going to happen. Do you believe in it enough to continue holding it for your grand vision of whatever you bought? That's why I can't buy meme coins, because I don't believe in these meme coins. I can't. And I understand that meme coins have outperformed absolutely everything. Anybody with eyeballs can see that, right? But for me personally, Messi and meme coins doesn't outperform absolutely everything because I would paper hand everything because I do not believe in these bags. Okay. But it's not what I know. It's not what I'm good at. It's not what I'm comfortable with. It's not what I'm familiar with. Stay in your lane. If you are the meme coin guy, and you're doing well, shit, keep doing it, man. Like keep growing, keep learning more, be an expert in your own field. I'm just not that guy. So for me, and especially other people's listening that are still trying to find out what is my identity? What kind of investor am I? That sort of thing. You do what I said, all in a bag, be a good community member, watch it grow, shoot it to the bull cycle. Everything's going to pump, right? If you pick, even okay, you're probably going to make money if you just have the courage to sit on your fucking hands. And you can't do that if you don't believe.
If you can just give advice to your younger self, this can be, last cycle or 2017, but just generally, what kind of advice would you give Messi like 5 years ago, let's say?
Mm. That's see that's kind of like a really difficult question to answer because I am who I am today as a byproduct of
Yeah.
all of the wrong turns that I've made. You know, I don't know that I would tell myself anything because who knows, you know, how that would alter the timeline. I don't regret anything. I've been through a lot of amazing moments over the last 10 years, and I've also suffered a lot. If you've ever had that experience, that feeling that you're gonna make it and it's so close, you can almost touch it. And making it is so, subjective. Like making it just means that this crypto shit has made a material impact and difference on your life. People think making it means that you have an Audemars watch now or a Patek. Um or you drive a Ferrari, you live, in a mansion, or you got a yacht, or you're flying private now. Like that's bullshit. Making it literally just means like you changed your life in a way that's meaningful that you can see. Maybe that's filling your gas tank up. Maybe that's going to the grocery store and you get to the checkout and the lady tells you that'll be $350 and you don't go, like what am I putting back? Like I do think, while I would just let myself just fuck up and learn as much as possible. And being as stubborn as I am, that's the only way I learn is a lot of fucking up. Um, for anybody else listening to this, like just if you have the opportunity to change your real life, do it. You'll never, ever, ever regret it. Ever. Crypto's a butthole. Exit only. Never put
But
money never put money in crypto, only take money out of crypto. Never, ever, ever put money back in crypto that you have taken out. Once you've taken out, that's real money. Real money does not go in crypto. If you take the money out, don't put it back in. What you said earlier is just great advice. And I think the spirit of what you said was like, you're only competing against yourself. And in order to perform at your best, you really have to get in that mindset and have that mentality. Play the game as well as you can. Don't worry about other people's games. Who gives a fuck what they're doing? You do you and you do it as, to the best of your abilities. Um, and also I've always had a really, really strong work ethic, and work drive and a provider drive. You know, if you do want to succeed here, once again, the people that are the most successful, and I think most would say this, have worked their asses off. I have worked my ass off every day, 7 days a week, no vacation for 10 plus years. Okay. And I'll continue to do so. I have more free time now, and I try to spend time with my family and my daughter. But I work my ass off, even to this day, to be the best player of this game I can possibly be. You're not going to make it if you don't work your ass off. And if you aren't working your ass off now, the good news for you is there's still time in this cycle for you to start working your ass off. And that means if you don't put in the work, if you don't make the sacrifices, that might mean you're not getting fucked up with your buddies on the weekend anymore. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because you need to start thinking about what your future self in 5 years is going to look back and think of you now, and is he going to appreciate, the things you're doing now and the sacrifices you're making now? Or is he going to be in the same place you're in now and be like, hey, fuck you, dude. If I had just started working my ass off 5 years ago, I'd be in a totally different place than I am now. If you're young and you're listening to this, you could do it, put the party shit behind you, put your fucking video games down, get serious about this. This is work. This can change your life, but it's a lot of work. Start working and start working hard.